Ward 2 council member Elizabeth Waner has a hard time sitting still. Even at home, she's often busy tending the garden in her backyard.
It always gives me something to do, and I find it very refreshing and recentering to be out there and away from everything else. No television, no telephones, no iPads, none of that. So I really enjoy that. My husband calls me, I'm not a human being, I'm a human doing. I always have to be doing, it would seem to him.
She lives really to do. Her definition of living is doing. She thinks about things, and then once she has come to a conclusion or a decision, she feels that what is left is to do, is to get out there and begin working at it.
Which makes Elizabeth a great asset to the City Council. Elizabeth is originally from Delaware. She attended the University of Wyoming, receiving a degree in biology. While living in Boston, she met and married her husband, Joe. They moved to Edmond in 1980 when Joe accepted a position at the University of Oklahoma Medical Center.
In 1980, Edmond had a population of about, I think, 32,000, so it was really quite small. But I thought there was just an incredibly comfortable feel to it, with so much to offer in terms of topography, and the community itself was really very refreshing. We looked in Oklahoma City, we looked in Norman, but we just felt that Edmond had a very good feel about it, and we were very attracted to it.
Elizabeth was able to be a stay-at-home mother as her two boys began school. It was during this time that Elizabeth became involved with a local zoning issue. She learned a lot about the city's planning process, and after showing an interest in civil service, she was appointed to the Parks Board, where she served for 10 years. In 2000, she was appointed to the Planning Commission, which she served on for 7 years. In 2006, Elizabeth ran for the Ward 2 council position and was elected. Along with her civic duties, Elizabeth had also worked for Edmond Public Schools and for many years at UCO, first in the Student Affairs Office, then on the UCO Foundation.
It's been a very positive effect because it has given her an opportunity to live an interest that is very important to her. As a family, it's been very important to us, especially to our children. Our sons are adult now, and they look at their mother very admiringly.
By 2009, her sons had graduated college and were both living in Washington, D.C. One son was even married and had a child.
After 5 months of doing everything I wanted to do, could do, or should do, I went to Joe and I said, you know, I'm a wife, a mother, a grandmother, an employee, and a civil servant, and something has to give. And he looked at me and said, I hope it's not me.
Elizabeth chose to retire from UCO. Today, she has more time to see family, travel, and devote to her city responsibilities, which is more than just attending city council meetings.
She is involved well beyond the city council meetings. And I suspect that that is something that most citizens don't realize, whether it's Elizabeth or all of the city council members, how much work there is that is not seen in talking to constituents, in looking at what other communities do, in looking at statistics for towns the size of Edmond, and then trying to see how all of this applies to Edmond. So the city council meetings and the articles in the newspaper are the very, very tip of the iceberg.
My favorite part about being an Edmond City Council member is really working with the residents and the staff to keep Edmond the kind of community that attracted me, to make it a home for everybody as it has been a home for us for all these years, and give them that opportunity to have the experience of really fulfilling quality lifestyle.
Besides serving on the City Council, Elizabeth is also part of the Public Works Committee and a member of the Visual Arts Commission. She's often impressed by the dedication of the residents who lead busy lives and still find time to serve on the committees.
We have 30 boards and commissions that are all staffed by volunteers, and I think that's really remarkable. They're a great service to the council. I think they do a level of work and a depth of work that is of great value to us, and it shows that they're really interested in their community.
2011 marked the 40-year wedding anniversary of Joe and Elizabeth. In celebration, they took a few trips, one to Spain, another to Italy. They both enjoy skiing and fly fishing.
Joe and I like to collect art. It's one of our pastimes, and it's a great pastime because no matter where you go, you can always find something to look at.
Elizabeth also spends some of her extra time catching up on the family photo albums.
It's been a labor of love, and I enjoy it. I suppose I could go to digital albums, but to this day, when the kids come home, invariably they're into the albums and they're saying, when did we do this? Or who was that? Or where were we when? And I think that they serve a real role for a family. So I'm going to continue with my albums and hopefully get them caught up.
Looking through the albums and the memories always reminds her of why she and Joe chose Edmond as the place to raise their boys so many years ago.
We have great schools. We have great parks and green spaces that our residents can take advantage of and even just enjoy. I think it's nice, and it's an incredible luxury to be able to promote such a community.
And as she serves on the city council, it's apparent that Elizabeth and her husband still care deeply about the city they call home.
I still think that one of the things that attracts people to Edmond is what attracted us to Edmond when we first came here. I think when you drive into Edmond, you have a feeling that this is a city different, if you will.
Her being on the city council has been a tremendous thing for her, and it's been really a tremendous thing for our family as well. You know, we're very proud of her. We think she does an extraordinarily good job, and we're just delighted that it's worked out this way.